What's up guys, welcome back to another setup video. This one is for K and I'm gonna show you how you can entry alone and just take over a site completely, especially when duelists are baiting you and nobody wants to entry or follow you, and also some post plans. Let's start with Ascent. You have these arrows that I use on the screen with some sounds, and I highly recommend to pause the video if you need to, but in order to keep the video short, I decided to shorten it a bit. Here's how it lands. You send it out, you walk up. Now you take out your flash, wait a tiny bit, and then bounce the flash, and at the right moment, you peek around, it's a pop flash, and you molly gen, you molly the flash there. You can generally flash anywhere, and you have a lot of entry power. Now for the pulse plant, we also got some pulse plants here, you know. Same, use the arrows, and now, look at where it lands. For a typical spot where you plant, and you can also use the one on the gen as well. Next one is for B side. You use the wall in the back there for enemies that play in the stairs. And if you want to disable enemies close to you, use the wall next to you. Here's how you flash. You molly the stairs, and then for enemies that run away from the stairs, you flash on the back side. And now you catch it. Pretty easy. Next one is the post plant here. So what you can do is you plant roughly that area, that spot, run back up into B main, and I would recommend this if you're in a 1v1 situation or you want to mind games the opponents. You just chill here, listen for enemies, then you take out your molly, bounce it on the window, roughly that area, and there's a lot of room for error, and it basically lands there. Next up is some on breeze here, where we walk into this corner as much as you can until you stand still, use the UI, and again, you can pause if you need to. Send it out, and here's what I love about this ability. It disables enemies in a really wide area, and where in that spot where it lands, it's very difficult to notice it as well. So you run up, wait for the flash, bounce flash. At the same time, now you flash enemies, you molly for the boxes there for enemies that might run back, another flash for enemies that might run forward, and bam, you got him. Next up is a pulse plant, which is the same position but a different lineup. Again, you use the UI and you jump at the end as well when you send it out, and there's where it lands. For B side, you walk into the corner here, and now you use the UI as well, and for this one it travels above the wall and it lands on the left side and basically disables very normal spots to hold on, like that. You send it out, one with knife out if you want to, flash, bam, same time, molly in the back, and then flash on the side, and that's it. Very difficult to deal with, extremely difficult to deal with. And then we got the pulse plant. Some pulse plants are very easy for K. You just bounce the molly, because even after it bounces, it travels pretty far. So unlike Phoenix or something, it's very easy to control it and predict it. And there we go. Then we have some on bind here. Stand in the corner, use the pipes over there, like that. Set it out. Then you wait for the flash. You don't want to show yourself too much though. The flash, and it lands right at the same spot at the same time. You clear for lamps, you clear corners here. Enemies that got mollied in lamps walk out, and you flash them, bam, kill them. And then we plant. Pulse plant is pretty easy. You can play on short, you can play, you know, default, you don't have to do anything complicated, but if you want to be fancy, you can walk back here. You just line it up like this. Use the UI again, like that. And now here's how it travels. Bam, nice. No way to stop it. Then we have for B side, you walk into the fountain like this, and use the UI to line up your knife, and you send it above this building, and it lands in a spot where it covers enemies that sit on the box and in lamps. In lamps, as tiny bit in lamps as well as elbow. But it doesn't stop anyone holding right where every operator plays in the cubby there. You flash in, you clear a bit, molly the backside, flash another one. Nice. And now your teammate can enter as well. Very strong. For the post plant, typical post plant position, you walk back too long, and now you just walk in the corner by the TP here, and you line up with the UI once again. Let's see. Like that. Just like that. Send it out. And there we go. Lands right on top. So with these mollies, you usually will be using them to clear stuff with. Here we flash, we knife, molly in the back there for enemies close by, and then I love this one. Bounce it out the window. That's it. I'm gonna try and find more of these flashes where you bounce through the window or you bounce on areas and it just becomes a pop flash that the enemies don't expect. Here we move back and also close the gap, and then we use the UI to line up the post plant. Send it out, and here's how it lands. And again, there's a lot of room for error because K does a lot of damage with his molly. So for B site, just walk up, flash. You can be you can adapt a lot here. Like there's no set spots or anything. You just flash, disable stuff based on where you think enemies are, and then you molly. Maybe you have some enemy here behind the corner. Molly to make sure they either run out or die. And for the post plant, you want to plant roughly in this area by the box. You walk back, stand in the corner, and then you don't want to show yourself because you will get shot. But you go back here, aim roughly to the same angle, jump and bounce. And that's an easy way to remember it, the edge at the top there. For Haven, disable, molly, and then flashes. You can be a lot tighter with the timings here, of course. This is like the first time I'm doing this. And here's how you enter on Haven. Very easy. Everything is pretty easy for K. Like, he's a killer robot. And with the lineups here, you just bounce it for post plant, and you can't defuse it. That's 4 pulses, by the way. 4 pulses is 4 seconds. For B, we disable. We use a flash, molly in the back, and then another flash that will become a pop flash, and you can push it with this one. So don't be afraid of flashing yourself. For the post plant, let's say that you haven't used the molly, run back, and you play for middle, and use the UI to line up with, as well as the crosshair. And then bounces, lands there. Very safe spot, very normal position to plant. And for C, disable, flash above the roof so that you don't flash yourself when you run in. Molly in the back, flash in. And this flashes for backside as well as enemies coming from platform. And once you clear a site, you just plant. Normal plant position for long. And this spot here is similar to a brimstone spot. You aim for the rock and then you just send it out and you pick. Nothing more. Then for split, we molly stairs there so that enemies can't peek screens as easily, or elbow. Flash in with a pop flash after disabling, and then another flash. You don't want to do these long ones because they're pretty easy to throw too far here. There's no real post plant setup either because typically you plant in this location. It's very safe, and since you only have one molly, you can't do that much with K. For B though, you can do a lot. You disable, molly, you flash in, and this will become a pop flash, and the distance it takes from entering garage, like the long hallway there, that's basically how long the flash has until it explodes once it bounces. And you run back here. Maybe you want to send out a flash to annoy the enemies, or you can go for the molly and you just bounce it. That's all. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Love you all, and hope you guys will enjoy this.